Hi, ladies. This is Monique with Boundaries for Women, here to remind you that you're worthy of love and respect. And in this recording, I'm talking about abuse long distance, and it does exist. So sometimes people think that abuse can only happen in the context of proximity, like that if you're close to somebody, they're right in your house, or they are nearby, or they're in your neighborhood, or there's someone that you physically encounter on a regular basis, that's the only way that abuse happens. But I'm here to tell you and confirm that abuse can happen even if you're long distance. And I tell you this from experience, and I know there are many people, especially with things that are going on in the world right now, where people may not be able to travel as easily. There's probably a very high percentage of people that are dealing with this, but they may not even realize that they're dealing with abuse because they may think that it is, something to do with how close someone is to you physically. Just so that you have some, maybe you're going through something like this and you need some kind of confirmation that yes, indeed, you are dealing with abuse. I'm just going to mention a few things that you will know that you are dealing with that, okay? The first one, which really probably is at the core of most of the others, has to do with control. Someone does not need to be near you or standing next to you, living with you, or even in the same town as you to have a high level of control over you. And the way this can take shape is by constantly checking on you, constantly texting you, constantly emailing you, constantly calling you, especially calling so that they can hear and get an idea of where you are. In more extreme cases, this can escalate to online stalking, which, by the way, has huge psychological effects on the person being stalked because it's bringing up all the same kinds of fears, all the same kinds of anxiety, all this kind of stuff, all the kind of trauma that you would experience even if somebody was stalking you in your town, because it's a sense of your safety being gone. It's a sense that no matter where you go or what you do, you're being watched. And that is a very, very disturbing feeling. And I've been there and I totally know what it's like. It is very hard to concentrate on anything anymore when you're dealing with that level of feeling unsafe, where you feel like your privacy is at stake, that there's nothing that you can do where you don't have to consider whether that person's going to somehow look into it or find out about it. And very, very, very often, it's not even anything that you should even have to be worried about, period. It can be very inane things, but because this other person's paranoia can be so extreme, it can make you second guess your every move just to make sure that that person doesn't think that you're cheating on them or that you're, doing something behind their back. And the irony is it's very often, it's not always the case that they're cheating on you, but it's very often that they are not trustworthy themselves in general. So therefore, they're highly suspicious of other people and especially of you. So stalking is one of the big things that can happen, and stalking can look like many things. It can look like, most people probably look at their ex's Facebook or something once in a blue moon. Oh, I wonder what so-and-so is doing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like a systematic approach to making you feel unsafe. And not that that person even knows that they're doing that. They're just operating from their unhealthy mental state. But the way it's coming across to the person being stalked is definitely dangerous. They may break into your email accounts. God forbid that you ever made the mistake of telling them your passwords or anything like that when you maybe thought they were trustworthy still. But even if you never gave them your password, people who do this kind of behavior, people who are this unhealthy, they have no problem finding ways to get a hold of your passwords, get a hold of your accounts, get into your accounts, find out accounts that you have that they may not know about, that you've had to create just to have a sense of safety from them. Next level may be that they may install some kind of, which you can do by, even at far away, especially far away. There are things that can be installed into computer systems in order to track you. I'm sure you know this because there's many movies and shows that depict this kind of stuff now. when I was going through it, I didn't even know this existed. So, and I to this day don't know if that person had done that with me, but I always had this sense that they had. But I had no way of knowing because, of course, they're not going to confess that. Yeah, so that's another thing. If you are, let's say you are with somebody that you see each other now and then, maybe you're in a long distance relationship and you visited each other, it is not out of the realm of possibility that that person could install some kind of tracking system into your car, into your house, just anything to keep an eye on you. And why this can actually lead to post-traumatic stress symptoms is because being under that kind of duress, it's like you're a prisoner, but like you're still able to go out and do your life, but you are constantly being scrutinized, watched. Sometimes you don't know if you're being watched. You kind of think you maybe are. You can start to feel like maybe you're feeling paranoid for no reason, especially if this person denies that they are doing any such thing. Then the next level is they may actually hire a private investigator to follow you. There's just different levels. It kind of can start at one place and just keep escalating. And they may hire somebody to follow you. They may hire somebody to keep an eye on you, keep an eye on your the place you live, make sure there's no one coming in or going out that would cause them to think that you're cheating on them. So there are many, many ways that this stuff can take place. And I just want to caution you about this because if you have dealt with this, or you think maybe there's something like that sometimes this person seems to know things that you're like, how could they possibly know that? I didn't tell them that, but it was something that I was talking to someone about, or it was something that I was looking up online, where you start to feel like, how is this person reading my mind? Well, it could be because they're tracking every move you make. And that can be a very hard pill to swallow when you are, you think this is somebody you want to spend your life with, to realize that this person, this isn't about love, this is about control. This is about your life being controlled by somebody. And I highly, highly recommend, if you are dealing with this, get help, get support. You can report this kind of stuff. Don't feel bad about reporting it. Don't feel like you're being disloyal. The person who's being disloyal is somebody who is controlling you and stalking you. That's who's being disloyal. For you to protect yourself and for you to take care of yourself and for your own safety, do what you need to do. That is not disloyal. That's just a healthy thing to do for your own self-care, your own sanity, your own health. Because this stuff can wear on a person to the point where a person can be just non-functional. You can just become where you cannot function anymore because you're dealing with so much stress and so much anxiety, to the point where you maybe can't sleep at night, to the point where maybe, your every waking thought is just a place of fear because you don't know what they're going to do next. And living with that kind of uncertainty and scariness all the time, it takes a massive toll on a person's mental state. So I highly recommend getting support, getting a counselor, a coach, seeing somebody that understands this kind of stuff, and reporting it, blocking anything, making sure that you find all the ways you can to block everything. They can track your IP address. They can track, again, because people that are like this, they're dealing with extreme paranoia that becomes dangerous to other people. And they're so paranoid that somebody's trying to hurt them that they end up hurting other people out of that paranoia. So anything you can do to protect yourself. Like I said, reporting it. If there's anything weird happening on your social media accounts, you can report them, block them. Again, do not feel bad. Do not allow yourself to be guilt tripped or told like you're mistrusting. Anything that you're sensing or feeling that is where somebody is threatening to you is almost always accurate. So don't ignore your gut, don't ignore your instincts, and do whatever you need to do to protect yourself. I hope this is helpful. I hope it's helpful just to know that it is a known thing, that you're not crazy. It's not you. It's definitely not you if this is happening to you. It's not your fault. But there are things that you can do to get back to a place of safety. And the more people that you have in your life that are supportive and know what's going on, don't be embarrassed, don't be ashamed. If there's people in your life, you'll know who they are. Hopefully you know who they are, people that you can trust to talk to about this, who will support you and stand by you and not play into any of that person's games or manipulations, because they tend to be very good at making themselves look like a victim. So I hope this is helpful, and if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me, and I just wish you all the best and pray for your safety, that you would just have the strength to do what you need to do for you. Thanks for listening, and take good care.